Welcome to the final edition of Panther Sports Talk for this school year. I'm Rich Moser, your host. We're getting ready to be joined by EIU Softball coach Kim Schuette. A little bit later, we'll have Jimmy Schmitz, the baseball head coach, and then we'll wrap up the program with some highlights from the OVC track meet. And unfortunately, Coach, they were the only ones that were able to get some stuff in this weekend. You guys went out there, and we've talked about it all year. Mother Nature has kind of been like a third opponent you guys had to face, and she ended up winning the weekend. You guys didn't get to play against Edwardsville. But you are champions nonetheless, so congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, a lot of hard work. We didn't get to play this weekend. We didn't get to celebrate after a win that we won the OVC, but we did our best and celebrated it in front of our home fans at our home field. And our players worked hard. 23 games to finish 20-3. They're very deserving.
Now, you guys, the team that you were going to play this weekend, SIU Edwardsville, you didn't play. They finished as the number 2 seed. I would ask you kind of how you're going to break down the OVC tournament, except you haven't seen all the teams. So maybe if fate plays out, you may play them for the championship at the end of the year, and the better team will come out, since you didn't get to really find out during the regular season.
Sure. Everybody's 0-0 today. We got to celebrate and have a nice team banquet, team dinner yesterday evening with all of our fans and celebrate a conference championship. That's why you play. It was awesome. The last 2 months, our girls have sweated it out and won the games they need to win, and they finished on top. This week, we'll see. We know we play Moorhead game 1, and really someone asked me a few minutes ago, well, what after that? I don't know. I have no idea. I know there's a lot of teams that are playing well. I know there's some teams that have kind of dropped off, but really none of that matters once it starts 10 a.m. on Wednesday.
Okay, we'll actually talk about the bracket in just a few minutes. A reminder that the tournament will be here at Williams Field. It starts Wednesday, 4 games on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all those starting at 10 o'clock, and then championship Saturday also starting at 10 o'clock. We'll talk about your opponents in just a minute, but the one thing you guys were able to do, and I know you're happy you got to do it, is at least let the seniors go on the field and you at least recognize them, especially with their friends and family having driven in to make sure that they could be part of you're going to get more games at Williams Field, but I know you always like to have some sort of a regular season culmination, and that was nice for those girls to have.
Yeah, when Melise Brown, Abby Wood, and Allie Seplick, 3 4-year contributors on and off the field, good grades, good kids, and good competitors. Each one kind of brings a different aspect to our team, and at the moment where I said we don't get to play, the tears came. But at the same time, we made it the best possible senior day they could. They got to be recognized in front of both teams, as well as take their final trip around the bases. And whether it be the best moment or not is definitely memorable. And at the end of the day, we're very proud of them and very proud of the conference championship.
Now, you guys will move in to host the tournament the second time in 3 years that we've hosted the tournament. A little different format this time around. And since you've hosted it once and you were kind of a rookie the first time, a veteran this time, is there maybe some things you learned from the first time hosting that you're going to use as kind of, hey, we want to do this a little bit differently, either as a staff or with field preparation or how even you approach it with the team?
Yep, there are some things. 2 years ago, I wanted everything to be perfect. Everything about our team, our field, our hosting the tournament, everything. And whether that be a good thing or bad thing, this year I'm focused on our team. I know there are lots of people in the administration who have been helping us out all year, as well as who are preparing for the tournament this weekend. I know we have a good field grounds crew that's going to take care of business, so I'm going to worry about my 18 players and my coaches. And we're going to talk a lot about, hey, we're still the team to beat. There's no fear, there's no what if, there's no scaredness. It's that people are still chasing us, and that's a good spot to be.
Now, the other thing that's a little bit different, and I'll kind of ask you, so you don't have to give me an answer, but I know it's kind of maybe gone through your head, is with the new format, you don't get the bye. As the 1 seed and the 2 seed, you don't get the privilege of not playing on day 1. In softball, since you only have a limited number of pitchers, does that maybe affect how you want to approach it from a pitching staff standpoint, that maybe Hannah Miniga goes out there, but I'm only going to throw her 3 innings in game 1, or maybe not even till game 2?
That's a good question. I think that you just have to take it day by day, and to win the first game counts as much as winning the second game. So we want to go out there with our best lineup, whatever that may be, Wednesday and win against Moorhead. I think that we have the luxury of having two very good pitchers. I don't think there's any drop-off between when Madej goes in versus when Mena goes in. They're just different style pitchers. But the two have complemented each other all year, so yeah, we'll definitely use both, and we're playing to win.
Now, you talked about the team you guys are going to open up with Moorhead State, a team you haven't played really for a couple weeks, and when you played them, it was the way the format goes, it was a Saturday doubleheader, get in, get out, and then I think, if I remember correctly, we actually had to flip the schedule, so they were ended up being the back end. You played them, got on the bus, and came home due to weather. Do you guys even have that scouting report fresh in your mind, or when you say Moorhead State to the girls, did there just this blank look come over their face?
You know, we need to work on that today. And we have our scouting report from before we played them, as well as our notes after the game, and my trusty assistants are doing that right now, and we're going to talk a lot about their team, what we would do differently and what we would do the same. At practice is when we prepare for that, and then at the games, let the horses go and just play some ball.
And the game you guys would play after that is you would play, if you win, you would play the winner of UT Martin, Murray State. If you lose, you'd play the loser of that. UT Martin, the team somewhat fresh in you guys' mind. You played them a couple weeks ago, got a split down the road, kind of into a little bit of a winning streak you guys had there. Murray State, a team you played very early in the year, and I know we've talked about them just briefly in the last couple weeks. A lot different makeup for that team now, so when you talk scouting reports, they are going to be somebody you're going to approach from a fresh standpoint.
Yeah, Murray has kind of come on strong. They're one of the teams that has really elevated their play lately and won some games here down the stretch. We played them quite a while ago, so yeah, we'll have to adjust the numbers and kind of see who's hot, who's not. A big part of right now is figuring out which players in the last month, not the whole season, are really carrying their team, and taking an approach from a pitching coach standpoint against that, as well as a hitting standpoint of when we bunt versus when we hit and run or versus when we swing away. So that's all the fun stuff. You know, that's the fun part of playing this game.
Now, one of the other things that I saw this past weekend, and I thought it would happen more than maybe it does, is you guys going into this past weekend were only one of 4 teams in the country that had not lost a game at home. And I don't know if you knew that or not. And you would think that sometimes home field advantage, that the number might be higher than that. But I guess you guys have really proven that this is a hard place for opposing teams to win.
Well, I had no idea that was the case. I didn't even know that we hadn't lost at home until a couple weeks ago when someone brought that to my attention. But we love Williams Field. When you look out there and you see our fans, we're maxed out right now on seating. And people bring their lawn chairs, people sit behind home plate, and people even stay after we win to stand and sing the fight song. So it's a pretty cool environment, and we really hope that environment continues this week and that home field advantage is in our favor.
All right, Coach. Well, best of luck. It was great talking to you all this season. Hopefully next week you guys are preparing for an NCAA tournament appearance. You have a shot that maybe isn't at large, even because you guys have won a number of games and are kind of right there on the cusp, but I know you'd like to wrap it up and hold the trophy up and make sure it's a done deal. A reminder that you can see all the games will be out at Williams Field Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They all start at 10 o'clock. It'll be a full day of action. You can buy an all-tournament pass. We're trying to sell some tickets, get some people out there. We know some people for other schools will be there as well. Championship games on Saturday will be at 10 o'clock. Coach, like I said, best of luck. Great talking to you this season. And hopefully next year when we're talking to you, it'll be, hey, how was the NCAA tournament experience?
Thank you. 3 o'clock Wednesday.
All right, 3 o'clock Wednesday for EIU. We'll be right back with This Week in EIU Athletics.
Panther fans, here's what's going on in Panther athletics. Baseball fell twice to Eastern Kentucky over the weekend at Coaches Stadium, 4-0 and 10-6. They're now 16-26 overall and 6-16 in the OVC. Softball was unable to get their series in against SIU Edwardsville over at Williams Field due to the rain, but EIU was able to clinch the OVC regular season softball championship. They'll go into the upcoming tournament as the number 1 overall seed. They are currently 35-12 overall and 20-3 in the OVC. Track competed in the OVC Outdoor Track Championships held at O'Brien Field this past weekend. The men won their 5th straight OVC Outdoor Track Championship. Mick Viken set the OVC record in the men's pole vault, and Tom Akers was named the OVC Men's Coach of the Year. The women's squad also won their 5th straight OVC Outdoor Track Championship. And Jade Riedbold set the OVC record in the women's pole vault. Now here's what to watch for this week. On Wednesday, the OVC Softball Championships begin at Williams Field starting at 10 o'clock. The number 1 overall seed Eastern Illinois will take on the number 8 seed Morehead State at 3 o'clock. Due to that game taking place before the airing of this show, check out EIUPanthers.com for the result and stats. On Thursday, it's day 2 of the OVC Softball Championships at Williams Field. EIU will play at either 3 o'clock or 5:30, depending on if they won or lost their game against Morehead State on Wednesday. On Friday, track is in Louisville, Kentucky for the Louisville Twilight, as EIU track athletes look to qualify for the upcoming NCAA Regionals. And it's day 3 of the OVC Softball Championship at Williams Field, with games starting at 10 o'clock. And baseball is in Morehead, Kentucky, as they begin a 3-game series at Morehead State, with Game 1 starting at 6 o'clock. On Saturday, the OVC Softball Championships wrap up, with games starting at 10 o'clock at Williams Field. Baseball with Game 2 of their 3-game series at Morehead State. And on Sunday, baseball wraps up their 3-game series at Morehead State. And next Tuesday, May 14th, baseball travels to Peoria to take on in-state rival Bradley at 3 o'clock. For Panther Sports Talk, I'm Ramin Karbasioun.
Game on the line, 2-point conversion. They throw it to Laura, running around the right end on a reverse. Throws a pass, and it is caught. The Panthers win.
WEIU is your home for Eastern Illinois Panther football. Eric Laura and Jimmy Garoppolo lead the Panthers' potent offense in 2013 as EIU looks to repeat as OVC champs. It's Eastern Illinois Panther football coming in September on WEIU.
Welcome back to Panther Sports Talk, our final show of the year. We're joined now by EIU baseball coach Jimmy Schmitz. And Coach, I'm glad you're dried out. And for people that were in the area this past weekend, they're going to know exactly what we're talking about. Saturday, you guys, no chance to get the games in because of the rain. You came back, and in addition to having to play Eastern Kentucky yesterday, really, and I don't think a lot of people understand the disadvantage home teams have of playing when it rains, is you guys had to fight getting the tarp on and off and getting the field ready every time as well.
Yeah, I mean, Friday we got a little bit of a window there where it wasn't that hard of a day. But on Sunday, we got out there early and then had to put it on a couple other times. So it's a long day, but our guys are kind of used to that. It's just a matter of, Matt Bournes and Joe Greenfield, who've been sharp the last few weeks, were not sharp, and I have no idea why. So EKU was really trying to get and move their place up in the tournament, and they came out and played well. So it's a long day, but we've been through that before with rain delays. You're just supposed to do that, hang out until you can't play, and so we did that and got fortunate. We got a little window to get it in.
Now, and like you said, unfortunately, the things didn't go your way. And for people to recap the game, you guys got up there, your starting pitcher warms up, and this goes for both schools as well. You throw an inning, and then you sit down for 2 or 3 hours. As a coach, do you kind of have an idea that we may only get 2 or 3 innings before a rain delay? And do you alter your pitching staff then, or do you still go, here's my guy, and after it gets rained out, here's my next guy?
Well, we actually had a plan to go right with Matt Bournes, and it got switched where Coach Anderson went back with Joe. I trust what the two of them thought they could do. All year long, it's kind of worked out well. So it didn't work out well. Joe was not sharp, to say the least, and then Matt, he's really not come in relief before, but you're only going to play 1 game. So I mean, that's the last 2 OVC pitchers of the week that we put in there and gave up 10 runs. So who would have thought that? I did, and I thought they'd be ready to go. EKU did swing the bats well and got up a little bit too much for us to come back.
Now, on Friday, you guys got another good starting effort from freshman Jake Johansmeyer. Unfortunately, he didn't get any run support behind him, but he's a guy that looking forward is going to be definitely a bright spot for you guys as far as maybe the guy to build the pitching staff around.
Yeah, I'd say 4 or 5 weeks ago, we were really looking at next year with some injuries that we don't know rehab, if they'll be healthy. But Jake gives us a lot of light. He's pitched the Friday night game, and he's been just absolutely phenomenal when it comes to throwing 3-4 pitches for strikes, seems to handle the pressure. So that gives us a bright spot in terms of next year, and that's kind of a key point right now.
Now, you guys move forward here. Unfortunately, eliminated from the OVC tournament race this past weekend. I know you kind of have talked during the course of the season that you guys really kind of unfortunately dug yourself an early hole with not playing well and getting at least a win in some of the early season series. But you have two that you can end on a high note with. You play at Morehead State, a team that's struggling this year, a chance to go win a series there, and then you end at UT Martin here at home, a team that's not playing extremely well either. Do you kind of just use those as put those up on the board and say, hey guys, I know we didn't get this goal, but let's still finish on a strong note and kind of set the tone for next year?
You know, that's a real hard question. I know staff-wise, we met this morning we feel we got to go with the freshmen. We feel we got to make some moves. That doesn't mean any of the upperclassmen won't play, but we've never been in this position since I've been here this early in the season. So for us to not put guys in and see what they can do and make an evaluation, I think would be wrong. We're definitely going to play, Priestman and Sapania and those guys a little bit, but we really, in these next 8 games, got to play some freshmen. We got to put them in and see if they're capable of kind of carrying the load down the road. So, we're making hard evaluations, looking at the staff, looking at the team, and we want to end on a good note, but we also want to really have a better feel for our team next year.
Now, you talk about some of those freshmen. Are there some guys that haven't because they're playing behind a guy who's an all-conference type player or a veteran that are going to get some looks this next couple weeks?
Yeah, I mean, Mitch Gasparo, started at short yesterday. With the new game, you got to be able to run a little bit. We have a team that right now we don't like the speed of the team, and he runs pretty well. Derek Page from Edwardsville and Jason Scholl, from Glenbrook. These are some freshmen that have shown some pop and have really shown that we've got to get them in there. And again, I don't want to wait till fall ball of next year. I want to kind of see some now. So we'll mix it a little bit. We won't go that whole way. I mean, you want to play the rest of the year and give people a chance to win some games. But the focus right now is really next year, and it has to be.
Now, I know you talk about the focus being next year. The final series you guys will play at home, and unfortunately we'll kind of be done with these shows by then. As you guys will play UT Martin at home, that'll kind of be a culmination for some of the seniors. I guess talk a little bit about what some of those guys have done and maybe what they've meant to the program. I know some have been role players, but some guys have been everyday guys since they've been a freshman.
Yeah, I mean, I think going in order, I think Scott Hodak and George Kolosik, the 2 pitchers, have been kind of role guys. They've really been key guys in the bullpen. Nate Sapania's been with us for 2 years and really hurt us this year by being injured for about 7 weeks of the season. He's just done a great job as like a catalyst, just a great leader of our team. And then the real senior this year, without Troy Barton, who's injured, is Nick Priestman. Pretty much played almost every inning of almost every game the last 3 years, and really it's nice to see. I mean, the improvement he's made year in and year out is just really, really neat to see. So we're going to miss him. Probably one of the better center fielders I've ever coached. And with him defensively, he's really saved a lot of games that people don't see. So those are the 4 main guys.
All right, Coach. Well, best of luck in the remaining games. A reminder, on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, not of this week, but the following week, you'll be able to see the final games out there at Coach's Stadium for this year's team against UT Martin. 3 o'clock that Thursday, 3 o'clock that Friday, and then 1 o'clock on Saturday. Best of luck in the rest of the season, Coach. Hopefully you get some evaluations on some of those guys and set you guys up for a good next year and a good couple years down the road. We'd like to wrap up this season of WIU Panther Sports Talk with some outgoing highlights from some of the baseball games and then also from the OVC Track Championships. Unfortunately, they had to go out and run in the rain and throw in the rain, Coach. You guys at least got a little bit of a day off there, got a rain delay. So thanks for watching, everybody, this year. We will see you back next year right here on WIU.
Here comes Whitehead. Let's bring her home. It's 10:30. She needs 10:45 for the OVC record.
notable addition to the new OVC record, 4.0 meters in Eastern Illinois. Finishers in the women's division.
Noon from Edwardsville is moving. It's Noon and Whitehead. Whitehead and Noon. Galileo and Ramos of Eastern Illinois will score. Facing Eastern. Final women's 100 meter. One, two, three, four finishers for Eastern Illinois in that 110 meter hurdle final.
If I didn't hit that hurdle, come on. I got the win. Hey! Let's go, let's go. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Hey. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's how you bring it back. I told you, baby. That's how you bring it back, baby. Yeah. That's how you bring it back, baby. Hey, yeah. Let's go.
This is our final race on this track.
Let's go. I told you, redemption.
Let me get a little bit in shape and we're good.
Redemption. Let me come back there.
Yeah, we're good.
On your 2013 Ohio Valley Conference Women's Outdoor Track and Field Championship.
Number one.
13 Ohio Valley Conference Men's Outdoor Track and Field Championship. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating this year's men's and women's champions.
5 years. 5 years. 5 years.
You guys battled with a lot of heart over these last 2 days and got your just rewards. Take a lot of pride in that, and let's remember what it takes to be here for those of you returning next year.
Shout out to y'all.
Carry on the legacy.
Shout out!
Carry on
Shout
the
out!
legacy.
Shout out.
All right, so what's the shout out going?
I think Whitehead like my swag.
Put those trophies up. Put those trophies up.
Make it loud, make it proud, baby. 1, 2, 3. EIU! 4, 5, 6.